and sisters, God is good. On this 5th of March 2023, we are on the second Sunday of our Lenten period. We are having a message from the readings of this Sunday. We are getting the first reading from the book of Genesis, chapter 12, verses 1 to 4. And our second reading is taken from the second letter of St. Paul to Timothy, the first chapter, verses 8 to 10. The message we have today is to listen to the voice of God. We are invited, all of us, to listen to the voice of God. And as we are given the example from the first reading of how our grandfather in the faith, Abraham, listened to the voice of God. In the second reading, we are given the example of how Timothy listened to the voice of God through St. Paul. And in the Gospel, we are going to hear how the three disciples, Peter, James, and John, listened to the voice of God that came from the clouds. Our grandfather in faith, Abraham, listened to the voice of God, and he accepted to move from the place he was used to go to an unknown land. And that land is out of listening that God promised him to do what he told him to do. And we know it is because he listened to the voice of God that he became the grandfather of all of us. And equally, Timothy is listening to the voice of God, and it is from there that Paul is calling him his beloved son. And the three disciples got the chance of listening to the voice of God that came from the clouds, and that voice that gave them the hope of foreseeing how it will appear, the resurrection of Christ, and that is the glory that we all await. When we listen to the voice of God from this Lenten period, we can transform ourselves, and it is through that voice that is talking to us that we can get what we hope to get when we come to the time that we are all awaiting for as believers. Dear brothers and sisters, let us focus to the voice of God. Let us listen, and by listening, we need to leave our traditional way of believing, and we go to where we can. We leave our way of doing things, we change, and we go to another way. The Lord be with you.